Welcome to Small Business Saturdays video series with your host and my husband.
And my dad, Aaron Montgomery.
Join the conversation.
Let's talk some business.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome into Small Business Saturdays. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic morning to get started here. Excited to share with everybody today and get into this discussion today about working on your business versus working in your business. So first off, my name is Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me at oursuccessgroup.com. So we are live inside of the private members group for Our Success Group, and I'm really excited to share this topic today because I think there's some, just kind of been thinking about the way I've presented this and also just in general, this whole idea of working on versus in. So I talk about it quite a bit, I believe. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but so this is definitely a topic that I like to be aware of for me personally as well, because we're all really good at kind of getting after things, especially small business owners, entrepreneurs. That's typically where we get into this, right? We like the grind. We like to get into the tasks and get things done and just kind of keep moving forward in all of those types of things. But I find that we need to be intentional about that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hopefully you guys are able to jump in here and love your feedback, love to talk about your thoughts on this, and then maybe get some of your ideas. What are some tasks that you do inside of your business that are in your business, and what are some of the tasks that you do inside your business that are on your business as well? So with that being said, let's start off by sharing that my goals for today with this conversation on versus in is I want us to clarify why it's important to make that distinction. Then I also want to understand the difference between the two, and finally just wrap it up with managing that balance. Discuss how we manage that balance, what it looks like to manage the balance, what are some actual tips, tricks, ideas that you can take away right now today to better balance that out. All right. So what we mean when we talk about the distinction and making that distinction between the two, or then also understanding why it's important to make that distinction, is on versus in might feel similar because they both have to be done in a business. And for any business to move forward, to be successful, we have to make sure that tasks that are considered in your business type tasks and on your business type tasks, both of them have to be done. All right. If all of a sudden you just stop doing anything, your business is not going to progress. You're not going to have any more customers, so on and so forth. So they both have to be done. Now, a lot of times when we talk about working on your business versus in your business, in fact, this is the way I felt when I first heard of this idea is, oh, well, in your business tasks are bad and we just need to stop doing them and just forget about that. We don't need to do that. Just always work on your business and everything's gonna be great. Well, they're not negative, actually. The in tasks are not a negative thing. It just can't become all that you do in your business. It can't be what every day is consumed with are all of these things that are just working in your business. And here's what happens, and here's why the in tasks take over, and we have to understand why it's important to make those distinctions is typically, in fact, you know what? I'm going to erase that. Let's step back. Not typically. In fact, I would go so far as to say always in tasks feel urgent. It's based around a customer deadline. In tasks also typically don't involve a lot of thinking, a lot of really high level problem solving, complexity. They're just things that need to be done. In fact, sometimes these working in the business type things are so like just quick check a box, need to be done, that they don't even actually make it to to-do list, right? We've got to take the trash out. We've got to get the job done. We've got to ship these orders. We'll get into all of the different examples here in a bit, but they're just the things that have to be done. Those are the in the business tasks. What we want to talk about when it comes to an on the business task is those feel different and typically can get pushed to the side for a couple of reasons. On the business tasks are typically more no, in fact, I got to get rid of typically. Gosh, let's get rid of typically. I'm going to try. I will do my best to not say typically here, but on the business tasks are cerebral. They take processing, they take time, they take focus. There are normally not a specific deadline to get them done, other than self-imposed deadlines. They feel like big projects. They might not have clear, specific steps, only kind of a goal and the need to focus and figure things out along the way. And so that's why in tasks will take over and become everything that you do because of that distinction. Those in tasks, they are urgent, customer deadlines imposed by others, boom, 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 typically a lot more. And on the business tasks are cerebral, self-imposed deadlines, feel like big projects, no clear steps. And so that working on the business type task, that's a lot easier to just go, okay, yep, I'll get to that. Or, oof, that's hard. So I'm going to instead go, yeah, I'm going to go post on Facebook instead. Or I'm going to go do this instead. Oh, I'm going to, yeah. So that is why they become so important to make that distinction. And I guess here's the other thing that I've discovered is that what is not apparent is that the working in your tasks are rewarding. And so let me rephrase that. What is not apparent is that the in tasks are the result of the on task. So what I mean by that is in tasks seem to be rewarding. I'm delivering the product to the customer. I'm making something. I'm moving something forward. I get to check a box or at least know that I got that done. But those in tasks are actually a result of what you did on the on task. The more in tasks you get actually come from the action that you took with the on tasks. The more quality and quantity of those on tasks will generate more in tasks, customer orders. So if I do enough of the working on my business tasks to build it, grow it, make it better, and I'm going to have more in tasks, completing orders, ordering products, yada, yada, yada. So, Sandy says, I did not get notification again. Need to look at my settings. Yeah, Facebook, I apologize. If I could fix that, I totally would. I don't know how else to do it. The only way I know how is that every Saturday morning at 8 a.m., I'm going to try to be consistent. And I will be very clear when I change it from Saturday morning at 8 a.m. How about that? All right. And then good morning, Facebook user. If you'll do me a favor and head over to oursuccess.group/Facebook, that will automatically give StreamYard permission for me to see who it is. Even if you've done it recently, Facebook loves to do that. So let's just click that real quick. I'll give you a moment. oursuccess.group/Facebook. So, but good morning. Thank you for being here. All right. So back to what we were talking about here. Good morning, Kylene. Thank you for being here. All right. So back to what I was talking about here. Again, the in tasks are the ones that feel like they're the rewards. They're the ones that seem like success is a result of completing those tasks. But actually, what happens is completing the on tasks is what generates the in tasks. And therefore, the on tasks are what create the success. They're what are ultimately are rewarding if you have enough of quality and quantity of completing the on tasks. So hopefully that makes some sense. And I know people are kind of diving in here and joining us. So let me just do a quick recap to get us all up to speed here really quick before I bring up a slide that I created. So the goal today is to clarify why it's important to make the distinction between on and in. That's the first goal. The second goal is to understand the difference between the two, which we're going to get to in just a second when we hit the slide here. And then finally, we're going to discuss how we manage or just kind of get a better balance of on versus in. All right. So those are the three goals. And what we talked about is in feels similar as they both have to be done for business success. And the fact that in tasks are not negative. It's not that we just need to wipe them off and just stop doing them. It just can't become all that you do in your business is all day, every day working in your business. All right. Now, the in tasks are easy to be something that take over our business life because they are urgent typically. They are customer deadline driven. There's not much real processing thinking. It's just doing and getting things done and moving forward and all that stuff. And in fact, a lot of times don't even make the to-do list because it's just, okay, I had to take out the trash. I had to get this job done, that kind of thing. Now, the working on your business tasks are cerebral. They take some processing. They take some thinking. If there's a deadline, it's typically self-imposed deadline, something that we say, okay, we have to get this done by this time, but nobody else is, your customers aren't going, if you don't work on your business, I'm not doing business with you. Now, they're not saying that to you, but deep down, they're actually going to do that because if you don't get better, they're going to find somebody else to go to. So there's that. And then the other part that makes on your business tasks more difficult and kind of typically getting pushed aside is that a lot of times there's not real clear steps of specifically what you need to do for your business. You just kind of have an end goal, and then you have to create the steps along the way. And what we don't realize is that when we work on our business, we're actually creating in our business tasks because the in the business tasks are actually a result of the quality and the quantity of the on the business tasks that we did. So again, that's where it becomes this juggling act because the more on the business tasks we do typically creates more in the business tasks. We're going to have more orders. We're going to have more customers. We're going to need to order more things. We're going to have our shop's going to grow, new equipment, that kind of thing. That's the growth. And so there's going to, the more on you do, the more in you do, but you can't reach your idea of success if you don't complete the on the business tasks. All right. So that's the quick recap. Hopefully that got people back up to speed real quick. And so that was my first goal, why it's important to make that distinction. So if you guys have questions about that, if you have comments about that, please share them and we'll get to that. But next thing I wanted to do, I'll take that banner down and we'll take this down so we get a nice clear view. All right. I've got this slide up on the screen for those of you who are watching the live version. If you are catching the podcast version, I will walk through this entire piece here. If you are just catching the podcast version and you want to see the live version, then become an OSG member. Just go to oursuccessgroup.com and you can get in on the back end and all the fun and extra stuff that we get to do with our amazing OSG squad community. I think squad is what we've landed on from what I understand. So, all right. So on the left here, we've got in the business, and on the right here, we've got on the business. So let's just take a look at a couple of quick examples here. All right, come on. There we go. Click. So on the left, we have completing orders, doing production. that is working in your business. Now, like I said, not a negative. That's the whole goal. That's the point, right? That's what we want to be doing, is the more of that we can do, the better. And again, that becomes a result of what we did on the right side of this, the on the business side task. So instead of completing orders and production, and on the business task could be creating a workflow standard procedure, becoming more efficient so you can get more of those completing orders and the production done faster. All right. So there's one example. The second example would be reconciling your bank statement. Now, that's a working in the business, but it is something that needs to get done, because if you've done enough on the business, your bank statement's going to have lots of transactions on it, hopefully lots of income that you have to reconcile and make sure that you're managing the money and understanding that side of it. So we do have to have that completed. Now, the on the business task could be something like reviewing your budget versus actual numbers, taking a look at all of the income, and is it growing, and why is it growing, and determining those things. That's working on your business. All right. So that's the second example. And as you guys have examples here, what are some tasks that you do in your business that you would say are working on the business, or tasks that you do in your business that are working in your business? Or even if you have questions about what would you consider this? And again, it's just important to make this distinction, not because we should just cut one out, but it's important to make this distinction so you know about the balance, about doing enough of the working on that you create enough of the working in to be successful. So we'll talk about my formula here in just 1 second after we go through this. But please go ahead and in the comments there, guys, if you're tuned in, make sure that you share your thoughts there, or questions, or whatever you have about this. All right. So that's the second one. Reconciling bank statements versus reviewing budgets versus actual. That's an in versus an on. The third one here is a working in the business task could be searching totes for fleece hoodies because all of a sudden suppliers didn't have them. And so you wanted to find the inventory that you've been sitting on for 2 years at the bottom of some random tote. All right. That's working in your business. And if suppliers didn't have fleece, it was something you had to do. All right. All right. So the on the business tasks, comparative to that, or versus that in the business task, could be working on product development, finding a different style of hoodie, or finding a different product that customers would like instead of a hoodie. And then building and developing your sourcing relationships. So if your normal supplier was out, who was plan B, who was plan C, who was plan D, and making that happen, and having those relationships so you weren't just trying to find anybody that had a pulse when the fleece was out, right? You had quality relationships built with alternative sources. So that's a working on your business task. The fourth example here, and again, these are just some examples to kind of give you an idea. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Share some on tasks versus in tasks, or if you have questions about one or the other. Again, if you have questions about it, that's fine, because again, we want to make that distinction between the two, so we know, okay, I need to focus and be intentional about the working on the business tasks, but then make sure that somehow, some way, and some creative ways, typically, I get the in the business task done. All right. So the fourth one here, this is a working in your business, delivering orders to the customer. That seems like a great thing. It seems like the ultimate, yes, I get to go drop this off with my customer. That's perfect. But that is a working in the business task. So we'll talk about some alternatives here in a second, but that's working in your business. Great. We've checked the box. We've got that order done. Customer's happy. That's all great. So again, it's something that needs to be done. We've got to get the order to the customer, but a working on the business task as an alternative to that would be setting up meetings with your customer to get customer feedback and to develop those deeper relationships. Now, yes, you could use the delivering the order as a excuse or a reason to have that meeting, to get that feedback, to build that relationship. But there is a distinction between the two. And so we'll talk about that in just one second. All right. So what do you guys got? What questions, what thoughts, what are you thinking? Am I on track, off track? I'm asking for feedback. So let's get those things in the comments there and let me know what your thoughts are there. All right. So that's my second goal, is now checked off, right? I tried to help you guys understand the difference. I believe that you do understand that, but I'd love to hear more from you. So what are some tasks that you do for your business that are on versus in? All right. Now let's get to that third goal of mine, which is to discuss how we manage these on versus in activities. All right. So as I said previously, we have to find the proper balance. We have to realize that to create more in tasks that allow our business to grow and succeed, we have to be intentional about those on tasks. So here's the way that I look at it. And this is a minimum. All right. This is the way I feel about it. This is a minimum. So unless you are at your idea of success, you must, this is, in my notes, I put this bold and underlined. You must make a minimum of 15% of your time available to working on the business tasks. So if you work, excuse me, if you work 100 hours a week, I hope that's not the case, but if you work 100 hours a week, because I chose 100 hours a week because of the easy math that this allows for me. But if you work 100 hours a week, then 15 of those hours should be spent on working on the business tasks. So how do we know? How do we know if that's the case? Well, if this is something that you really believe in and want to develop, I would suggest using a program like Toggle Timer, TOGGL. And I believe that's their website too, TOGGL.com. And using something like that, or just writing down everything and then reviewing that and understanding, okay, I'm doing a task for my business right now. And so I'm going to time that and I'm going to track it. And then after this course of a week, I'm going to go back to all those things that I've timed and tracked, and then I'm going to categorize them. And then I'm going to make sure that out of that time, again, if it was 100 hours, 15 hours of that is working on your business. So that's the easy formula. And again, that is a minimum number. That should be your minimum standard. All right. If your business is struggling, or you just really need it to grow, or you're just getting started, that number should be a lot higher. You know, it could be as much as 50-50, or heck, it could even be more on than in, because you haven't done enough of the on to generate enough in to counterbalance that. But what happens to us is that we do some good work in the on, and then all of a sudden all these in tasks come flooding at us. And now we switch our focus and we're 100% focused on the in tasks. And then we do that. And then all of a sudden we hit a lull and we go, what happened? I thought I was doing good stuff. Well, what happened is you forgot to continue to focus that 15%. So what you did in the on is going to generate what's happening in the in. And what happens is we realize, oh, okay, well, now all of a sudden I have a lull. But if you look back a week, 2 weeks, a month, something like that, there was a lull in your working on the tasks that happened. You just have to be honest with yourself. And so you'll see this cycle. And so as business owners, we want to make sure that we don't have these, operating a business that does this. And sorry, I was off screen. So let me start from over here. That does this. If you're watching on the video side, You've got a lull, and you've got a massive high, and then you've got a lull and a massive high and a lull. That is the most stressful. That is the most difficult. And that is typically the least profitable way to run a business, because you can't do any planning. You can't become efficient. You're at the mercy of whatever is being thrown at you, whether it's a lull or a high. So I'm scratching and clawing to try to get up here, or I'm managing and just trying to get things done. So if we are intentional about focusing on our business at least 15% of the time, what'll happen is we'll level that out, right? We won't have these massive highs. We'll just kind of go like this, right? And so that's the first part of it, is we have to level that out by choosing to make at least 15% of our time available to working on your business. Now, how do we do this? I mean, the simplest term is you must, again, I underlined and made it bold and italic, you must demand of yourself the accountability to focus on the quality and the quantity of the working on your business, right? That's it in a nutshell. You must demand that of yourself. Now, is that easy? Absolutely not. Can it be done with sheer willpower? Certainly. Is there a better way? 100%. So if you're struggling to make the time and to demand that accountability of yourself, then there's a couple different things you can do. You can get an accountability partner. When you have somebody else that is there to check the box with you and to hold you accountable and say, hey, did you get this done today? And you check in with each other each day and you hold each other accountable. That's a great relationship. It's a business partner, right? The other thing you can do is join a program like our Masters of Success Mastermind. Inside of that program, inside of a mastermind group, inside of any of these similar type groups that you can find out there, accountability is probably one of the number one pillars and number one reason that people join something like that. In fact, with our Masters of Success Mastermind group, my goal, and Todd and I's goal, is that a third of that program is about the accountability that people gain from kind of working with their peers in a structured format. And just for those of you that aren't in the Masters of Success group, to give you the other 2/3, I don't want to leave you hanging there. But so if 1/3 is about accountability, the other 2/3, the next third is about motivation and support, and the final third is brainstorming and problem solving that you get to do inside of a group. And that's the mastermind part, is that ability to have feedback from other people you trust. So again, you must demand this of yourself. If you can't do it on your own, and just because you can't do it on your own does not make you a bad business owner. In fact, most people can't do it on their own. There are very few people that are wired in that way, that they can just do it all on their own and completely hold themselves accountable. I can't. I know Todd can't. I know the amazing people building their businesses inside of Masters of Success can't do that solely alone. They can do a lot of it, and they're growing and building that muscle, so to speak, to be able to do that. But finding an accountability partner, finding a group, finding a mastermind, that's a perfect way to make sure that you're getting 15% of your time of working on your business. Now, for Todd and I, our goal is to build the foundation of our success group to a point that the working on the business tasks are a majority of what we do. And then the working in the business tasks, we have partners, people, staff, services, automation, different things like that handle the working in the business tasks. So let's go back to our slide here real quick, because I want to kind of explain that to you. If the goal is to get to a point where, as a business owner, your job is to work on the business and to develop the business and grow the business in that way, then how is it that if we're working on the business, then how do we manage the increased working in the business that happens, All right. So I'm going to use these 4 examples because I think we can break those down and give you a pretty good idea of some different ideas or thoughts on how to do this. All right. So if you're finding that you're spending a huge amount of time and just completing orders, getting production done, you're constantly just weekends, nights, it's all getting the job done, printing orders, embroidering, heat transfer vinyl, weeding, whatever, that's just consumed you. There's 2 things that we can do here. And this first one is going to seem a little odd and off, but first I would suggest raising your prices. Okay? Because if you've got so much of that going on in your business right now that you can barely keep up, that means that your prices are too low. People are just flooding in. And yes, that's awesome. That's so great. But what's happening is you're sacrificing your profits. You're leaving profit on the table. You're working harder than you need to, because if you raise the prices to where the production became manageable, then you're working smarter, not harder, right? So that's one way that you can wrap your arms around too much working in the business through completing orders and production, is start by raising your prices. And you'll find that sweet spot. You just need to keep bumping it up until you'll have that gut instinct of, okay, this is manageable. I'm making enough profit that my business is growing and I'm comfortable and I'm making the profit I need to make, but I'm also providing enough value to my customers that they continue to come to me, and your repeat customers and your good customers, the customers you like working with. Because 2 things are going to happen here. When you raise your prices, you're going to get rid of the headache customers that you really don't want to do business with anyways, that you just had hoped would grow into something, or you didn't take the time to build them into something. And you'll find that you have more time to build relationships with those customers so they become easier to work with, or you choose to send them to somebody else, right? So that's one thing. The other thing that we can do in this, if we're finding ourselves always doing completing orders and production, is we can hire help. We can have, somebody that comes in and does production on the weekends for us, or helps us with certain things, does other things that allow us to be more efficient in the production that we're doing, or just doing the production in general. Your business should grow to where you're not always doing the production, unless that is something that you are that's the most important thing to you, is doing that production. Then as a business owner, your goal is to hire people or to have partnerships that allow you to not do those things, but instead to grow the business, work with your customers, that type of thing. All right. So that's number 1. The second thing was reconciling bank statements. So if you're finding that, the accounting is just consuming all of your time, you can hire a bookkeeper, or you can get a virtual assistant that can help you with the bookkeeping. You can get a program like QuickBooks that makes it easier and more organized. Because here's the deal. Is bookkeeping your passion? Is that something you really love to do? You go, oh, yes, I've got 7 bank statements to reconcile. I cannot wait. In fact, I'm just going to carve out the first part of my day that's all I'm going to do. This is awesome. I am so excited about this. Because if that is the case, then my next suggestion to you would be, why don't you start a bookkeeping business and then focus on that? And then you develop ways to do more bookkeeping, right? And that's working on your business if your business is bookkeeping. But the folks I'm talking to right now, your business is not bookkeeping. Your business is being a decorator, right? So that's number 2, how we kind of come back to that balance of minimum of 15% of working on your business. Number 3, searching totes for fleece hoodies. If you're constantly searching for inventory, you're constantly running around, you're trying to find stuff. What you can do is spend some working on your business time and carve out some time to get organized, catalog your inventory, declutter, destash, get rid of stuff. and then just order what you need, and then hire a purchasing person, or you hire an office assistant, right? So by doing those working on the business tasks, we can now manage and make more efficient those working in the business tasks of grabbing the hoodie that we're going to print on, right? All right, so that's number 3. Number 4, always out running around delivering orders. I get it. It's fun. A lot of times getting to see the look on their face when they get it, all that stuff, those check boxes. We love getting out there. We love, shaking hands. We love, all of that stuff. That's human nature. That's social. That's personal. But if you're running around delivering orders all day, you're really not actually doing those social things. You're really not developing that, because there's no intention behind it, right? How many times have you gone out to deliver something and you just drop it off with somebody else because the person you needed to talk to isn't there? Or how many times you out running around delivering something and you just have to leave it with them, or they're super busy and so they're just like, thanks, and turn around and walk away. So what can you do instead? Well, you could ship the items. Yes, that's more cost. Yes, you should build that into your price. Or you can have them pick it up. You can have appointments be scheduled. Basically, we can be intentional about this. So if you really feel like dropping this off is going to be beneficial to your business and that you can make that a working on your business task, then I would recommend scheduling that time, asking them if, hey, I'm going to be able to come and drop this off at 10 o'clock today. Do you think that you'd have a little bit of time to just chat with me about some of the other needs that you might have, or just, I'd love to get your feedback on this, so I don't want to waste your time, but I'd really value an opportunity to just chat with you for, 10, 15 minutes. I'll bring you a coffee if you want. That becomes, now we're working on the business because we've been intentional about it. We've scheduled a time where we're going to make sure that we have that quality interaction with the customer. We've even warned them that we're going to ask for feedback, so they're not just like and just knee jerk, right? They have an opportunity to think about it. Now you've built a relationship, right? So doing that, but not just being a delivery driver. Again, if your passion is getting out there and running products around and dropping things off, then maybe being a decorator is not the right thing for you. Maybe you should figure out how to be a local delivery service instead. Or, again, find out what's important and passionate to you and then focus on that and make that what becomes working on your business is all about. All right. So, Todd, good morning. Glad you made it, and glad to see you here. So what do you guys got? What are your thoughts? Where are you guys at? That's what I wanted to do. I feel like I've achieved my 3 goals. The first of clarifying why it's important to make the distinction between on and in. The second was understanding the difference between the two. And the third is discussing how we manage and my formula for making sure that we spend enough quality time working on the business instead of in the business. So quiet bunch this morning, but that's okay. If you guys are taking it in or couldn't find it or came to the party late or whatever happened, but would love to hear your feedback, would love to hear your comments. And that's it. That's what I got for you today. So while you guys are catching up and typing anything in that you've got for me, let me just share one more thing with you. Just a quick, if you are not already part of the Masters of Success group, now is the time. During the month of March, we are accepting applications for new groups that will be forming in April. And these are typically, so they're forming in April, and then there'll be at least 6 calls for you after that, after you get started in that. So we form new groups right before the start of each quarter. So this is your last opportunity here through the month of March to get yourself signed up or apply or check it out. So if you'll go to oursuccessgroup.com/MOS, And here's the other thing: is this is the last time during the this is the last application period that we're going to have where our pricing is at the pricing that it's at right now. And if you have already locked in your price, so whatever your price was when you signed up, that will be the price for the lifetime of your membership in the Masters of Success. So the prices don't go up for those that are already involved. So when we open this back up in July again to the next group of Masters of Success members, the prices will be higher. So just want to be open and honest with you guys about that. If you're at all thinking about it, if you think that this could be something for you, then and you've got questions, just go over to that page, oursuccessgroup.com/MOS, and then scroll down to the bottom of that page, and you'll see kind of a dark black bar, and you could schedule a call with us. We'll talk through it. Here's the deal. We know that this is an investment. We know that we're asking you to make a large investment in not only your time, but your resources, your money, because we know that if you do that, we can provide a ton of value. And so we're not going to just get anybody into the Masters of Success groups because they're interested, right? We do an application process for a reason, because we have to create as much value as we can for folks so that they can go back and recuperate that investment. They've made an investment in us. Then we want them to be able to take that they get out of the Masters of Success and use that to grow and build. So their return on investment, if I said, give me $10,000 and I will give you the tools to make $100,000 and I can guarantee that, is that something that you'd do? Would you figure out a way to come up with $10,000? Right? So that's the idea. We know that if you do the work, if you participate, if you show up, if you believe in yourself and you do the things that you commit to do when you fill out that application, that this is going to be something that is worthwhile in your business. All right. All right. So, Kylene says, thank you guys so much for bringing this to the table. Kylene says, this has been one of the most challenging things for me, because for me, it is more fun to work in the business, but the important things are on when I'm building it. Yeah, that's a really great point, Kylene. It is more fun, right? We're doing orders, we're checking things off. We feel so accomplished, and you are accomplished. Those are amazing things. That's one of the things that was so important to me to get across today, is that I don't want you to think that when we say working on your business versus in your business, is that in your business is a bad thing. In your business is actually just a result of the on your business things that occur. So, it's your business to design the way that you want it to, but to grow it, the only way to grow it is to focus on the working on your business stuff, so you have more of the in your business stuff, and then figuring out a way to manage it, right? Because like I explained there at the end with the delivery driver or the bookkeeper situation, is what happens is we then get all these in your business tasks and we think, oh my gosh, this is great, I love this. But you're really not actually checking the box that you need to be checking for yourself. It just becomes a symptom of the box that you need to be checking for yourself. So you have to then, again, be intentional about, do I really want to be a delivery driver? Or what is the reason that I love going out and doing deliveries? And then be intentional about making those things happen, but not wasting your time on just the drop-offs or just the, no time, rushed, blah, blah, blah. So be intentional about it. And then those working in your business things become even more rewarding and even more fun. All right. Thank you, Kylene, for sharing that. Sandy says, when I decided to start my business, I didn't think about having to work on my business. I've learned so much from this group. Well, thank you, Sandy. Yeah, you guys do an amazing job. Sandy is part of our original Masters of Success group. And in fact, we had a call last night and it was super powerful. The things that this amazing group of ladies are doing to grow their business, to support each other, to support their communities, focusing on working on your business, mind-boggling to me, more than I could have ever imagined. So I am so proud to be a part of that and to get to facilitate their success. It's incredible to watch. And then Kylene follows that up with Masters of Success. Has been such a powerful experience for me and my business. I love it. Thank you for sharing that feedback. All right, guys. Well, that's what I have for you. I do want to just share one other quick thing. I don't have a lot of details. I'm not going to get real into the weeds. If you want more information about it and want to talk to me about it, because I'm still hammering out some of the last details on this new project I'm working on. But if you'll go to oursuccess.group/SP mastermind, this is a new program collaboration that I'm doing with a friend of mine from here in St. Louis, where we're doing a separate standalone 10-week mastermind program. And this is around the success principles. So it's about doing exercises that allow us to put the success principles to work for people. It's not going to be decorators related at all. In fact, my friend Matt Barbary is not involved in the decorator space. His company is called Time for Success. So it's a partnership that our success group and Time for Success is doing together. Matt and I are working out the details because he's got his clients. We obviously have you guys, our members. So we want to figure out a way to give you the best possible deal on that program. So if it's something you want to add, but it's not a required thing of our success group members. I wish it's something that I could throw in, and we're going to, like I said, make it as affordable as possible. But there's a lot of time and effort that both Matt and I have to put into this. So something I'm really excited about, being able to share deeper the success principles and really build some value into that. So again, our success group, our success.group/SP mastermind. And if you have questions about it, just reach out to me. Like I said, still some details to be hammered out that hopefully Matt and I can get done next week. So stay tuned for a little bit more information on that. All right. So that's what I got. Hope you're feeling better. Yep, it definitely got the blood pressure down. So feeling much better. And thank you very much. Awesome. All right, you guys. And maybe you were talking to somebody else too. So don't know. Sorry about that. All right, everybody. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. If you have any other questions for me, you guys know you can always reach out at success@oursuccessgroup.com. Always happy to help, always willing to share whatever I can. Again, our mission at our success group is to provide resources that empower business owners to achieve their idea of success. And the great part about providing resources is we can do that in a lot of different ways and can design that and customize that to what the OSG squad needs. So squad goals, right? Is that how that goes? All right. All right, you guys, it's been great. Hopefully you learned a lot. Any questions you have about working on your business versus in your business, just let me know. But what I really want you to do is go have a great Saturday. Make sure that next week you're spending at least 15% of your time focused working on your business. And again, 15% of the time you spend doing tasks for your business is working on your business, right? I'm not saying that every hour of every day has to be 15%. You do need to do the other things, right? We do need to spend time with our family and spend time with our communities and all that other stuff. So that's even separate from that. So the time you work on your business, make sure 15% of that time is devoted to working on your business. All right. Have an awesome rest of your Saturday, and we'll talk to you soon.